So good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Good. Excellent. Thank you for coming to the cybersecurity panel. I think sometimes that businesses don't realize how important this is. I am Michelle Penn-Marshall, and I have the opportunity of serving as the Vice President for Research and Innovation at Hampton. Woo, I just told somebody I was at Hampton University. It was you. It's his fault that I said that. At Texas Southern University. I've never made that mistake. And I have the pleasure today of having a distinguished group of panelists. To my right is Eric Botts. He is the director of the Center for Internal Studies, International Studies, the director of Global Cybersecurity Program. He is an assistant professor of International Studies at the University of St. Thomas. There is so much more that I could say that he has done, but I want to give us the opportunity to hear from the panelists, have them answer questions, and give you the opportunity as small business owners to ask questions as well. To Eric's right is Jerrel Conerly, and he is a cybersecurity advisor for the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, Region 6 in H-Town. He has the charge of helping critical infrastructure owners and operators protect critical infrastructure from major cybersecurity threats. He also enhances resilience through voluntary and non-regulatory collaboration. And last but certainly not least, to Jerrel's right, we have Heather Hughes. Heather is an attorney. She's also the vice president for Stroz, Freidberg's Houston office, where she leads a wide variety of engagements, including data, breach, incident response matters, complex digital forensics investigations, practice security risk assessments, and cyber due diligence investigations. So now we know, because of what they do, why so many people didn't come in this room. But you made the wise decision to come, because I have a few statistics. Cyber attacks have the power to disrupt, damage, or destroy businesses, and the cost to victims keeps rising. IBM's Cost of a Data Breach 2023 report says the average cost in the US was $4.5 million, and it was up 15%. So I will stop talking only to ask the questions, and I want you to listen attentively, take notes, so that we can hear from our panelists. Heather, I'm going to toss the first question to you. What are you seeing with regards to ransomware and small businesses?
So I think that the misconception is small businesses are going to be ignored by the threat actors, and it's just the opposite. So a lot of the threat actors know that smaller businesses probably do not have the controls in place that you need to either detect or to keep out the threat actors. So, you know, I've seen solo practitioner physicians get hit. I've seen, you know, small shops get hit, and then of course huge multinational corporations also get hit. They cast a really wide net, the threat actors do, and they do their due diligence on you once they gain some access into your networks. But you're not immune just because you're small.
Thank you very much for that response. Eric, the next question is actually for you. What are the most difficult threats to small business operations in the digital ecosystem?
So like Heather said, there's a tendency for small business owners to feel that they are sort of out of sight, out of mind. But if you have a small business with any sort of nexus to a larger client, or if you're providing a service to a larger customer, often you are the low-hanging fruit on the tree that they will attack. So let me just give you an idea of, I would say, the breakdown of the threat actors. Obviously, you have cyber criminal gangs, and these organizations are transnational. They often coalesce around a certain campaign that they'll run, and they'll target sectors. So if they target healthcare, they may go after not only the large pharmaceutical companies or hospitals, but they may go after a medical billing service that is run by a small business person. You also have hacktivists. We're seeing a lot of that because of the war in Gaza and also the war in Ukraine. So we're having companies that may have any sort of business with Israel now are being attacked by hacktivists who are targeting them because of the perceived support for the Israelis, and same thing, we see that with Russia and Ukraine. You have insiders. You may have people working in your company who find that selling your proprietary information to another firm is a way to make extra money. Very tough to defend against that. You have industrial espionage, where you may be in competition in a very constricted market with another company, and you're trying to gain an advantage in the market, or the other company is, and they may attack your proprietary information. And you'll also have, and this is really hard, I think, Heather, you talked about this, really hard for a lot of small businesses, business owners to believe that they would be the target of a nation-state actor through an advanced persistent threat. And the big four out there are China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran.
Thank you very much for your comprehensive response. I see people taking notes. Jerrel, how can small businesses protect themselves?
Starting out, I think this is number one, the networking. It starts there. We really believe, even at CISA, information sharing is number one. So networking, can't devalue that at all. You coming in, people have experienced something that you haven't, that collaboration, everything. But big thing is education, situational awareness, training. But the main things, ransomware, phishing attacks, you can put all these controls in place all you want, but if your users or the people you have in your organization, if they don't know what they are, you're dead in the water. So never devalue that training as well as that collaboration, information sharing.
Thank you. Heather, if a small business wants cyber insurance, what cybersecurity controls are required now to obtain the insurance?
So probably 8, 9 years ago, if you wanted cyber insurance, you basically gave the cyber carrier your website and number of records, and you got cyber insurance. And then, ransomware attacks and a business email compromise with wire fraud and phishing attacks, they increased exponentially, especially during COVID. 2019 to 2022 was really busy, and the cyber insurance carriers paid a lot of money in claims, because if you have cyber insurance, it pays for the ransom demand. If you end up paying a ransom, it pays for the forensic investigation, it pays for your outside counsel, it pays for the data breach notification. So if you're having to pay for like Experian to notify people that their information was accessed, I'm sure all of you have gotten a letter from someone saying you were part of a breach and here's how you sign up for free credit monitoring. And cyber insurance also pays for public relations if you have to do any sort of press conferences or anything like that. So because it covers so much, now the cyber insurance carriers are requiring minimum controls in order for you to get it. And the first one is multi-factor authentication. That has to be on everything. So if you're not familiar with that, that's where you have to get a code on a second device if you're logging in to your email, to your network. I have a lot of small businesses who come to me and say, look, I'm just using Gmail. We're just using our Macs. People are allowed to access email through their own phones. You can get multi-factor authentication on all devices for really inexpensive, like to the tune of like $18 per user per month. That is nothing, and it can reduce your risk of being hit with ransomware by about 70 or 80%. There's some software called endpoint detection and response software that you put on your systems. Carriers want to see that as well. And to the point of training, like you said, if you can have the best firewalls, the best software, but the minute one of your employees clicks on a link or opens an attachment, then you're literally just opening the door and allowing malware and a threat actor into your system. And so doing online training, doing regular training with your employees, that's not only a requirement, it's just really good cyber hygiene, and it's an inexpensive thing to do. The phishing emails are very sophisticated. It's not an Ethiopian prince who wants to give you money. We see ones, Taylor Swift came to Houston in April, so we saw phishing emails in March that looked like they came from HR saying, click here to register to win 2 Taylor Swift tickets. Well, your employees are probably going to see that and go, well, I want tickets. Happens during sporting events. It happens during, now we're at the holidays, so there's a lot of the track your packages, or you might get an email saying there's not enough postage. It looks like it's coming from, the Postal Service. So really talk to your employees about, do not open those attachments. Do not click on any of those links, because they're just introducing the malware into your systems. So all of that is required. Those are minimum requirements to get cyber insurance. The cyber market is not as hard as it was 2 years ago, so it is a little bit easier to get cyber insurance, but you have to have controls in place or they will not cover you.
Thank you. I just learned a lot as well, because I see some of those come into my email. I work at a university, and they will say very strange things, and we do have that multifactorial authentication. But Heather, if I could follow up on that, and if you could just share, if you know, what is the average price of cyber insurance?
Oh, it depends. There's no average price. So it depends on the size of your company, and what they really go by is endpoints. So that, if you have 10 employees, but each employee has an iPad and a laptop and a phone that can access the network, well, that's 30 endpoints. So they go by endpoints. They go by how much coverage do you want? Do you want 5 million or 10 million or 500,000? If you want it to cover ransomware, then you really have to have some good controls in place, because ransomware is the most expensive claim. I think we facilitate ransom payments with our clients. Probably about 50% of them pay. The largest ransom that I've facilitated is $47 million. The lowest is about 300,000. So you think about the insurance carriers that are paying that, and some of these clients don't have cyber insurance, they're paying that out of pocket, but the cyber carriers really want you to do everything that you can do to protect yourself, and then, so there's not really, it really depends. It's just like trying to get property and casualty insurance and other types of insurance. There's so many factors that have to go through underwriting.
Thank you for answering that. Her patience with this novice over here regarding the cyber insurance. Very helpful information if you happen to be a novice as I am. Jerrel, I would like to ask you the next question. Would you please share with our small business owners who are with us today, what are the key issues associated with external dependencies management?
Such a fancy word for vendor management. Supply chain, it's just, it looks good on paper. But that's who you're dealing with, your vendors, your contractors, supply chain. So anything from just the guy delivering to, it may be cyber insurance, that person you're dealing with. But the main thing I tell people is what we do is we set it and forget it. Sign the contract. I have my SLA. Oh, we're good. It's nothing. We don't look at it again. That's the problem. Just like a house has maintenance, you have to go back, cut the grass, the fence is going to fail. Those are the things that you have to look at with that supply chain vendor management, and that's what we forget a lot of times. So it's not just planning. Once you sign that contract, that's the easiest part. You need to go back, form a relationship with your vendor. Hey, are we hitting all the benchmarks? Are you meeting everything that I required? Manage it. You're going to manage that relationship at that point and keep going. And in the end, what we forget is the continuous monitoring. You need to monitor and improve. Yes, we may not be the best of friends, but we want to become the best of friends. So at some point, you need to monitor and improve. Do you want to sign them next year? The contract language needs to be very concise. We don't want to say, oh, I want the best practices. No, it's not about the best practices. Tell them what you want, how you want it, when you want it. So very concise, but monitor and improve, and the cycle continues. So next year you want to plan again, make sure that's in place, form, manage, and make sure you monitor and improve.
Thank you very much. And thank you for breaking down the fancy words as well. Thank you. Eric, and audience, we all know that artificial intelligence is not new. It didn't just arrive, and it's not going away. So with that as the backdrop, Eric, what can small businesses anticipate the impact of artificial intelligence to be on their businesses?
Well, we could spend all day with this one. A couple of things for small business. Everybody is marketing AI now as a part of their application. It's almost a given that you have to market AI, that you have some AI-enabled process. But machine learning algorithms have been around for about 30 to 40 years. We've all been using them in various aspects. And now, some of the same things that you've been using or companies have been selling for years, they just now put this AI moniker on it. The other thing, there's a tendency, I think, for people to assume that if you have an AI-enabled application, that it takes human decision-making and judgment off the table, that you can just leave it to these AI applications to make your decisions for you, and that's not the case. There's a lot of strange things that happen with AI applications. I have students who've tried to submit papers using AI, and the AI quoted sources that didn't exist, right? So there's this weird thing that happens where AI hallucinates. It makes up data and information, and we're not exactly sure why when information, it's kind of a black box. So we're not sure what the outcome. So we spend a lot of time. In fact, one of my students said he spent more time verifying the output, and he said, I'm not using this stuff anymore. It's just easier to do it the old kind of way, research and study, So I made a believer out of him. So what you're going to see as a small business, you're going to be approached with a lot of your clients, but you're also going to be approached with potential vendors who are going to be saying, well, our product is better because we use AI. And AI will solve all your problems. And you have to be very, very careful. You're still going to have to do your due diligence. A lot of this stuff is being worked out. There's a lot of bad applications out there. And sometimes AI, especially the generative AI, when they slurp up, you like that word, slurp? When they slurp up data from databases, sometimes there's corrupt data and even malware that's incorporated into the data analysis. So until we develop better solutions for vetting the data, screening and monitoring the data, I'd be a little careful with bringing an AI application into my business that hasn't been thoroughly vetted.
Thank you. Do you have any advice for them on how to vet, or any of the panelists, the AI applications?
I'll start with the slurping. So there's a couple of really great threat intelligence, open source threat intelligence applications. One thing I always champion is, if you're a business owner, become a member of InfraGard. InfraGard is a public-private partnership run by the FBI. And Houston has the largest InfraGard chapter in the country. And the cool thing about being a member of InfraGard is that you get into their members portal. And the members portal has some really great open source intelligence tools that you can avail yourself of as being a member. The other thing that InfraGard will do is that there's a malware investigator. So if you have an application that's acting a little wonky, you like that word wonky? It's a little wonky, and you're not sure, you can contact Malware Investigator, and they'll reverse engineer or look at that and tell you whether or not it's a known vulnerability, common vulnerability or exposures, a CVE. So it's this free tool. I love the word free tool that has incredible threat intelligence for you as a business. Plus, you can network really well, and there's so much information sharing. So I've been a member for a long time, and I always recommend small businesses become a member of InfraGard.
Thank you. Heather, we've answered this, or the panel has answered this question earlier, but we have had some people join the room. Would you please share 3 things that small businesses can do to reduce their risk of a cyber attack.
Put multi-factor authentication on everything first. Train your employees to recognize and question anything they receive electronically. So, we're all very busy and you just want to, respond to that email and get on to the next one. To Jerrel's point about supply chain, you may interact with a vendor or a customer every day. And so if you get an attachment that says, hey, I got this invoice, it doesn't look right, take a pause before opening that. Your customer or your vendor may have been hit by a threat actor. And the emails it could be a legitimate email address, but they've been hit. And so just, really train your employees to take a breath before clicking on anything. And then I would say, a lot of the software can get kind of expensive, but there are things that you can do that are not expensive. Multi-factor authentication is one of them. Requiring passwords on everything, and strong passwords, which is, more than 12 characters. Don't reuse your passwords, obviously. And then try to keep your personal and your business accounts separate. I know that a lot of people, want to carry just one phone. And would just want to have one laptop, but just know that if one account gets affected, that could affect your business account as well. If it's on the same device, you don't have the right safeguards. I think that was more than 3, but I was trying to give ones that are pretty cost effective, and aren't going to break the bank.
Those were excellent responses. The audience may have seen me slap myself on the wrist as far as when you talked about making sure that we have strong passwords and different passwords. Thank you. Ooh. I do have a password book. I do have it electronically. I do have it in paper because I know I need those things. So thank you. Your response was very helpful. Before we open the floor for questions and answers, and I'm going to come down and go around and please ask questions. These are the subject matter experts. I would like to ask Jerrel and then Eric and Heather, is there anything else you want to share before we open the floor for questions and answers?
I'll go first. He's not a plant, but I tell my clients, especially my small business clients who can't afford to pay a consulting firm to come in and write policies and procedures for them, CISA has a lot of free stuff on their website, and I tell everybody this, that you guys have, that you can, you can download instant response forms, you can download training, it's so much free stuff. Obviously, the government does not want you to get hit any more than you want to get hit with any sort of cyber attack. So I would have said that whether he was here or not, but that's the advice I always give clients when they tell me, look, I don't have $100,000 to spend on cybersecurity. I will tell you though, any money you spend proactively is going to be worth it because a reactive solution is going to it could put you out of business. It would be so expensive.
Thanks for getting that started. I appreciate that. To piggyback off of that, yes, we do have a lot of free resources and services, starting with assessments, everything from a ransomware readiness assessment to just your cybersecurity performance goals. We look at that, like she mentioned, the incident response plan templates. We do that. Myself, I can come in, you can schedule me, I'll come in and do these assessments. We also have workshops to complement that. So if you guys are starting out, don't know where to start, free assessments, free 99 is what I tell you, so that you can remember, free 99. Come in and do those assessments, workshops. We also have free vulnerability scanning. If you can't afford that, if you're up to scale on that as a mature organization. So yeah, you can get with me. Also visit CISA.gov. Everything is on there, but everything is free. Of course, there's a tiered approach. If you want to get into something in depth, that's when the money comes in. But like she said, it's better to do free than $100,000. But I will take that $100,000 if you guys.
Real quick, this is down and dirty. Make a clean, golden image of your a device. What am I talking about? You can back up everything. I say back up all your files. But what you want to do is create an image. So you can do that. You can do that to an online provider, or you can go down to one of your electronic supply places and buy yourself a 1 terabyte hard drive, and then just image your device on that. And in 1 terabyte, you could probably image several of them. You just segment the drive and image all that stuff. Put it in a locked container somewhere, because if you do get hit with a ransomware attack and you can't spend $100,000, what you can do is essentially wipe your drive and then upload your clean image and get back in business. So it's one of the easiest and cheapest things to do, is just to have a clean image and back up all your files.
Excellent. Thank you. I am among cybersecurity royalty today. So I am here. Okay. I'm not going to hand you the mic, but I'm going to hold it and let you ask your question. Go right ahead. I'm going to hold it.
Okay.
No, seriously.
Okay, thank you. So, as an expert, I would like to know, what do you think about those Google field passwords that Google is like, you know, is filling the password? You know, we need that.
I think you're talking about a password manager when it produces. Typically what happens is that's a much better password than most of us come up with, because we use our cat's name or something like that, right? So yeah, I mean, it's a next level. You can also use a password manager, which will, for all the applications on your desktop, it'll assign a password to it, and then there'll be a sort of key password or PIN number that you will have that have you get into all that. It's not 100%. Nothing is 100%, right? So you have to understand that. But it's better than, usually much better than the kind of password the average person comes up with.
Excellent.
And it's much better than a sticky note on the bottom of your laptop.
Oh, Heather.
Y'all know you do it.
Absolutely, I do. I won't do it anymore. I'm going to come over there. I didn't do something that I should have, because networking is important. Tell me your name and your business, and then I'll go to the next person for their question.
My name is Jessica Valencia, and I'm new here, so I'm just moved, but I have a master in business. So.
Thank you. Is this the next question on this side? Okay, I'm coming. I used to teach. I can run in heels. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm still going to hold the mic, though. Sure, you can stand.
I have a question. I just joined a partnership for my business. And this guy, he's doing work outside of the country. And I've been doing like a financial business, you know, like client personal information for income tax, accounting, and insurance. And so I'm sitting in his office, and I'm using the internet as his internet with AT&T. But when I was not touching the computer, it's not happened normally, but somehow the mouse just keep moving. So I wonder if I was hacked into my own computer, because he's doing software, and he get out the business of the insurance because of the conflict.
Are y'all dating?
No, I'm not dating. Well, he has 4 kids.
I'm sorry, it's a joke. I'm sorry.
No,
Bad
but,
joke.
So my question is, what would be the best computer? Because I heard something about Apple, Surface, or other computer that would do much of the protection, being like being getting hacked or stuff like that. And
Well, I can't endorse any computers. However, it doesn't matter. It's always not if, it's when it's going to happen. So no computer is safe. But they do say Apple is most secure, but if you have the same controls and precautions on Windows, Linux, whatever it may be, it's the same. So just depends on your environment. Let's say you like to go to Panera Bread and do your work. Somebody may be shoulder surfing, things of that nature. You're plugging in random USB sticks into your computer, Bluetooth. I can hack into your computer with Bluetooth. If you have your Bluetooth on right now on your phone, I could be in the background doing that. So you're never 100% safe. So it's really about what you do, your situational awareness and training. I know we've got lazy with COVID, but reading, education, that helps you out because there's always something new that you can get hit by.
And I will add, do not get on public Wi-Fi unless you have a VPN on your device. That includes on your phone, on your laptop. So do not get on Starbucks, Panera, airplanes, hotel, conference centers. If y'all are on the free Wi-Fi here, I can hack into you in about 10 seconds if you don't have a VPN on your network. And so in addition to like what Jerrel said with shoulder surfers looking at you, they can buy a $100 device off the internet that can just crack into the Wi-Fi, and anybody who's working on that Wi-Fi, they can see what you're doing in real time, and they can keystroke memorize what you're doing. So as you enter your password, now they've got your password. So they'll get into your banking apps. So public Wi-Fi is a terrible thing unless you have a VPN, a virtual private network on your device.
Thank you.
I wanted to speak to a little bit to your concern. Whenever you, and this is for everybody, if you enter into a contractual relationship with a stakeholder, a client, you're only as safe as they are. So in your agreement, your SLA, you probably want to establish a baseline of security that the other party must maintain. The other thing you want to do for your data is make sure you have full disk encryption. And as was mentioned, Heather mentioned a VPN, you have to try to secure not only data at rest in your endpoint, but data in transit as it moves between you and your other stakeholder. So all of those places, the data has to be secured. And you also mentioned, the mouse moving around. There's very powerful scan tools that you can download and run a deep scan of your system. And hopefully it'll detect if there's a remote access tool called a rat. Don't you love that name? There's a rat on your system. But it allows someone outside of, someone working remotely to dial into the system. A lot of times, bad actors will put some malware on your system to monitor your activity, and that's called dwell time. And it's not uncommon for them to not act against your data until they see exactly what it is you're doing. So they could be on your system sometimes months. Some companies have had years of reconnaissance software sitting on their system, just monitoring everything they do and all their clients so that they can determine what they want to target and how they want to target it.
Thank you. And did you say your name and your business? That's why I stayed over here before I go to the next question.
The business I'm starting out right now is Repo 2019, so it's combined with the insurance, tax, and real estate because I got licensed in, in those fields.
And I'm going to run over here and I'll come back.
Just a quick question.
May I run over here to get their questions? And I'll come back, I promise.
Hello, my name is Zuri Dale. I'm from Texas Southern University. I'm the Executive Director of Research and Innovation Initiatives. Shameless plug. One of those initiatives is the Center for Transformative Health. I'm very proud of that, so I wanted to share. Question for you. I do this all the time. I do not know if it is a best practice. Is there any ramifications of saving your passwords to the computer? I think we all see the Google pop-up that says, do you want to save? And
Never save it. Stop saving it.
Oh, wow.
I'm learning a lot. Thank you.
So I will add something because there's a lot of women in the room. Please stop sharing your location with every app that's on your phone. It's a physical safety issue. It's also a cybersecurity safety issue. There is no reason that most of your apps need to know your location.
Okay, I needed to be in this room.
I'm here spreading joy. I'm available for children's birthday parties.
It will be joyful when we do what you tell us to do. I'll stand up.
Thank you for that. Hi, my name is Sharmise Buck. I'm the CEO of Ignite Diagnostic Solutions. We're an analytical testing laboratory. So I actually have 3 questions. I'm going to just hit you at once. What VPN service do you recommend? How do y'all feel about DuckDuckGo? And what software would you recommend to someone who does government contracting and they require that we have a certain, cybersecurity limit and just everything in place?
So by limit, did you mean cyber insurance limit, or?
Just having cybersecurity in place, and to be able to protect the information within that particular grant or bid that we have been awarded.
So I'll answer. I can't. I also don't really. I don't sell any of these products. I like Norton's VPN. It is cost effective. It's about $200 a year, and you can usually do 3 devices. So like I have both. I have my phones and my laptop on it. It also it completely has a VPN. So anytime I get on Wi-Fi, it turns on the VPN. It also can monitor your credit, and it also will block web trackers. So the online trackers like Google Analytics and Facebook, Meta, all of those, they're putting trackers, and some of them will pull your personal information back to those apps, and it blocks those. I don't know anything good or bad about DuckDuckGo, so I will pass that on.
Yeah, I can't endorse anything, but I will tell you there's a lot of different browsers out there, but almost all of them allow for private browsing, like a Mozilla Firefox. There's a private browser for that. And there's also some other applications that will do ad blocking and also block trackers. So there's a lot of different vendors out there. Some are better than others, and I'm not going to endorse any. If you're working with government, a lot of government agencies, I don't know if they've required it, but there's the National Institute of Standards and Technology has a framework, a cybersecurity framework. And if you use a NIST framework, usually then you're compliant with anything a government contractor. Since government is required under the FISMA to use the NIST framework, so if you use that framework, you're pretty much covered.
Excellent. And I promise to come back, and I'm back.
I'm good.
You're good? We probably have time for one more question.
Well, yeah, on that point. Hi, I'm Christina, Texas Women's University Small Business Advisor, and I'm asking because I do have clients that are B2B, B2C, and B2G. I'm familiar with the CMMC Level 1. Would you recommend that B2B and B2C companies also use that checklist as the basis or foundation to, for their company, for their cybersecurity? I mean, this is something that we're trying to address in 2024 with our clients, and I want to get something out there that they can check on right now. And you mentioned NIST, which I'm also familiar with, but what would you say I can tell my clients across the board that at least be CMMC Level 1, put those safeguards in place? I don't know. What's your thought on that?
No, I agree. I mean, it's always good to have a baseline. You need that foundation because, like I said, if I do come at and look at you and investigate, like, okay, I might want to use them. It's already in place. I have a third party come in. Here, we have this framework. This is what we're using. Checklist, everything's in place. So, yeah, you can't go wrong with that. I'm not sure if level 2 is out or already in there like that. I can't speak on that. I'm so sorry. But I know even with new policies that are coming in, they're testing them now. It's always good for our stakeholders to have that in place just because it makes someone feel secure. Okay, they've done their due diligence. So I'm good on that end as a stakeholder. So, yes.
Thank you very much. I know we have time for one more question. I know we have brilliant scholars and business owners in the back of the room, so I'm walking around. Where's the question in this section? There we go. I knew it.
Thank you. So we have a quick question about accepting cookies. There are some applications of stuff you want to do, and if you don't accept the cookies, it won't let you move forward. What's your opinion about that?
Accepting cookies, not cookies and milk. It's not Santa time.
I mean, some websites you can bypass it, but only use the one that's strictly for that website. Like she mentioned, web trackers, they try to slide that in, that fine print. So definitely look at it, manage your preferences if you're on there. and always go with what is needed. But a lot of times you can still bypass it. And, but you can also erase your cookies at the end of the day, or whatever you're doing, you can erase it in that web browser.
And I forgot my own practice. Your name and your business?
Oh, my bad. My name is Titi. My business, I'm a teacher.
Thank you. Just wanted to take advantage of networking. Can you all please join me in thanking our cybersecurity experts? They took time out of their schedule. And as Ms. Dale said, we are from Texas Southern University. It's in the South, and we believe in giving gifts and presents and thanking people. So we have a gift for each of them. Let's see. This is Eric's. This is Heather's. And this is Jerrel's. So they have a book on the history of TSU, they have a water bottle, and they have a nice notepad. So thank you all so much. Much success to you with your business, and thank you, panelists.
Thank you.